So welcome to RANsquawk's EU morning briefing for June 1st of 2009. Just taking a look now, just gone through 8:30 now in London, all the markets open, and we're off to a pretty positive start so far. It seems like the market's getting kick-started overnight in the Asian session with the Chinese manufacturing PMI coming in the third month, again expanding over that 50 mark. Did indeed see the Shanghai Composite higher, Nikkei finishing up over 1.5%, and we've seen the European bourses already off to some significant gains. That following as well, we have already seen from Europe both the Spanish and Irish PMI for manufacturing coming in much better than expected. The Spanish number was a 9-month high, and the Irish number, a 7-month high, and this all comes ahead of the ISM manufacturing report this afternoon from the US, where analysts are also looking for a further improvement for the month of May. So with that optimism very much there across the board being felt in all the asset classes, the dollar index moving down towards its session low as we speak now. It's down currently around 0.9%, and that in turn has given a strong lift to all the commodities across the board. Indeed, we're seeing at the moment WTI crude futures up at 7-month highs. That's also getting a bit of a boost after China overnight. They increased their prices of gasoline and diesel by as much as 8%, and as well further bullish rhetoric coming out of North Korea, and possible now looking to fire a long-range test missile, all looking to aid prices there. And today does as well mark the first day of the US hurricane season. We'll be looking out for further university forecast reports on the weather front for the hurricane season for tomorrow's session. But again, all of this somewhat outweighing what's been pretty much priced in, that news on General Motors and the pending bankruptcy. We're going to be looking out for those headlines officially to hit the wires at 8 AM Eastern Time, so at 1 o'clock in London. Take a look at some other notable news to come out over the weekend. Obviously, Treasury Secretary Geithner, he's over in Beijing for a 2-day visit. He said that they're committed to a strong dollar and they're committed to bringing down the fiscal deficit over the medium term. He also said that the Fed sees the rise in yields as part of a bumpy normalisation process. The FT writes that China has continued to buy government debt, but is believed to have shifted from longer term to shorter term securities, though some insist this is only talk. So again, still very much at the forefront, Geithner trying to soothe over political relationships with China, obviously one of the biggest, or not the biggest, bondholder US Treasuries in the world. Taking a look elsewhere, just on the UK front, obviously with this dollar weakness across the board being reflected in the major pairs, euro dollar and cable up around their highs at the moment, already showing significant gains. In terms of data, we did see overnight the Home Track housing survey for May came out 0 on a month-to-month basis against previous minus 0.3, and year-on-year at minus 9.6 against the previous minus 10.1. So not as deep contractions as it was in the prior month, and being unchanged in May, that does mark the first time in 20 months that there's been no month-to-month decline according to Home Track house prices for May. Elsewhere as well, with the pending Bank of England decision to come later on this week, the Sunday Times in their shadow MPC meeting, they voted unanimously for rates to stay on hold and expecting no change in the scale of quantitative easing. So looking ahead then, we're going to look out for the other European, Italy, French, German and the Eurozone manufacturing PMIs to see if they can follow suit. Again, we've already seen that 9-month high in the Spanish and 7-month in the Irish, highlighted the strong numbers in China overnight. Then the 1:30s from the US today, London time, will see the PC numbers, personal income and spending from the US and the April reports, and then I'll be keeping a close eye on whether indeed we see that further green shoots appearing in the May ISM manufacturing US report, which will be due at 3 o'clock London time, so 900 CDT.